There comes a time in many spiritual journeys when the inherited images of God and Christ no longer hold. The language that once sang with meaning begins to falter. The familiar terrain of religion feels narrow, as if we've outgrown a house that once felt like home. And yet, in leaving that house, we find ourselves not in another, but under the vast and often disorienting sky of unknowing. This is not the absence of faith, it is its transformation. For many of us, the only image large enough to hold the divine now is the cosmos itself. Not as a cold, impersonal mechanism, but as a living, unfolding expression of sacred intelligence. A theophany. The stars are no longer just distant suns, but the shimmering body of mystery. The dark matter and quantum fields are no longer meaningless chaos, but the veils and breath of the unnameable. God in this vision is not a being, but being itself, not an external ruler, but the living source coursing through all that is. And Christ, no longer simply a historical figure or doctrinal boundary, becomes the archetype of divine presence manifest in the world, the Logos through whom all things are patterned and called to awaken. We are not abandoning the sacred, we are seeking it more fully. The imagination, once confined to creeds and catechisms, becomes the organ of spiritual knowing, capable of perceiving the divine in myth, in silence, in the awe of stars, and in the deep symbolic resonance of the inner life. This is not a regression into relativism or fantasy, but a movement into what poets and mystics have long known. That truth speaks in symbols, and that mystery is most itself when it eludes the grasp of dogma. The journey from form to formlessness is not easy. It can feel like a death. But it is also the beginning of a deeper birth. When we no longer cling to the image of God, we may begin to sense the presence of the real, vast, intimate, unnameable. And perhaps in time the old names may return, not as constraints but as windows. Not as containers of truth, but as echoes of a greater silence. In this way, a new cosmology is born, not built from doctrines, but from wonder. Thank you for watching.